Pry open your third eye with me, your big-headed know-it-all, polymath Scott Spackey, and guests. Change your mind, change your life. Full episodes, services, knowledge, and all you'll ever need on scottspackey.com and life-mind.com. Are you ready?
Welcome back to Pry Open Your Third Eye, the podcast that uses wisdom, knowledge, and humor to destroy ignorance on many different topics and subjects. So what we wrapped up is the 4-part series of the E&P, Emotional and Physical Personality, Sexuality, How to Persuade and Influence People. We just wrapped up the 4-part series to this, and this is a recap to help you understand what this is. You want to go back and watch them. In episode 1, it's an introduction. It's 30 minutes long, and that simply tells what E&P is, Emotional and Physical Personality Sexuality, how it came about, that Dr. John Kappas is the founder of it, how I learned it when I went to school at HMI, the institute that he founded, and actually what I went there for is to become a hypnotherapist, a clinical hypnotherapist, to help people in crisis and clinical things and very serious issues, as well as self-improvement. And it was pretty profound. And what surprised me was this E&P theory that John Kappas had established, and it absolutely changed my entire private practice for over 20 years, because it gave me the opportunity and ability to be able to connect and bond with people and have a rapport with people that was unimaginable, that just wouldn't have been possible any other way. This created longevity, harmony in relationships. I knew what they wanted just by looking at them. I knew who they were. I knew how they responded to things simply by looking at them, by the way they stood, by the way they dressed, by the way they spoke, what they spoke about, all these kind of things. So this E&P series helps you understand all of this, how to evaluate and assess someone as emotional or physicals immediately in a few moments. Now, Myers-Briggs is the more popular personality assessment tool that people use. And personally, I don't care for it. It's over 64 combination of personality types, and then you combine all those hybrids, and it's like 128. Way too many, way too complicated. Of course, everyone's going to fit into that, and everyone should. But I mean, it's just, that's like saying we got 8 billion personality types because of 8 billion people on the planet, you know? So it's a little too convenient for me. And the emotional physical that was founded by John Kappas is very simple and elegant, and it only establishes 2 categories: emotional personalities and physical personalities. Everyone fits in one of these 2 categories. Everyone. The only difference is percentages. For example, I'm a 65%, 68% emotional personality, but that means that I'm a 32 to 35% physical personality. So I have both. We all do. No one is completely 100% one or the other. So this introduction part of the series, the first part, that's 30 minutes long, introduces you to the concept, the theory, what it means, how it works, and how it was established, how I learned it. Now, in addition to that, I reveal that I stood on the shoulders of giants, that as John Kappas studied Milton Erickson and Sigmund Freud and many of the other greats that came before him, I too did. I studied them and I studied him, and so I was able to stand on the shoulders of those giants and be able to elaborate even deeper. So everything John Kappas taught me with the E&P, I was able to take it further. I was able to see more because I was able to have the base of all he gave, and then I had the time, the opportunity, and the perspective to be able to expand that even further. And I found it just to be a flawless system to be able to evaluate people. And once you know this, once you know whether they're E&P, whether they're emotional or physicals, and what percentages and how and why, then you know what they want, what drives them, and what makes them feel good and confident and comfortable. And this is the reciprocating relationship. So episode 1 is the introduction for all of this. It teaches you what E&P is, and it also introduces suggestibility. Now, even in that intro session, there is access to the forms. There are questionnaires on the website that are posted that you can download for free that tells you whether you're emotional, physical, and what percentage of each you are. And the suggestibility questionnaires are there too. Go to the website, scottspackey.com/pryopen, and right there, one of the blog posts is the access to the forms. These questionnaires are a lot of fun to do. You do them for yourself to tell which one you are, emotional, physical, what percentage of each, and suggestibility. Then you can give them to people that you know and love, friends, associates, lovers, spouse, whatever, and then have them fill it out. And you can have a lot of fun with this. It's a lot of fun to do together. But you do it separately, and then you compare. It's a lot of fun. Or you can fill it out for them, or you can fill it out for them as you think they would answer. So the best way to do the questionnaires is you fill the one out, set out for yourself, then you fill one out for your partner the way you think they would answer, or your brother, your sister, your children, your neighbor, whoever, anybody you want to know about. And then they can fill it out too. Then you compare them. How close were you to what they actually filled out? How honest were they? How honest were you? This gives us a wide range of being able to access who and what we know about people and how to evaluate them. Truly what they are subconsciously, not consciously. Remember that conscious mind, conscious thinking is only 12% of your thinking and feeling. 88% is in your subconscious. So if you don't get the subconscious to buy onto and get influenced into making changes and improvement for yourself, then it's not going to work. 12% is not enough. This is why so many self-improvement things and goals that we have will fail, because we're not accessing the subconscious. We're not being able to teach the subconscious mind how to support these decisions. This series of E&P teaches you exactly how to do that with yourself and with anybody. Then there's the suggestibility questionnaires. This is about how to communicate, whether you're literal or inferential. We're not one or the other. We're a percentage of both. We're dominant by one or the other. We're dominant either emotional or physical. We're dominant either literal or inferential communication styles. So the intro series explains this and gets you ready for it. In part 2, E&P, how to persuade, influence people, we break down the emotional and physical personalities in detail, exactly what they are, what drives them, and why they're so different. Emotionals process the world and the things around them and the interaction they have with people internally, how they think and feel about it. Whereas physicals, hence the name physical, they process things by what they interact with the world on a sensory level, how things look, taste, feel, etc. When we know this, what's driving how they view the world around them, then we get access on how to approach them, how to build rapport with them, how to have good harmonious relationships with them, and have balance. This teaches us and helps us to be able to avoid all kinds of conflicts and misunderstanding and be able to have harmonious, balancing relationships with anybody and everybody, not just your spouse or your family, friends, acquaintances, even strangers that you can evaluate in moments with this system. So in the episode 2, called E&P Relationship Strategies, it teaches you each personality, breaks it down, and then teaches you how to interact with them. It teaches you what drives them and motivates them on the subconscious level, parts that they don't even really know. Teaches you how to evaluate this just by looking at people, by the way they dress, by the way they stand, by the way they talk and what they talk about. This teaches you exactly which one they are, how to assess that in moments. And it's fail-safe. It never fails. It's totally accurate. In episode 2, and this one's a bit longer, it's a bit more academic. It's a lot of fun, though. And it also discusses, of course, the motivation. What is driving someone's decisions, behaviors, and the way they are? What drives them to dress like what they do? What drives them to dress as they do, to speak as they do, to stand as they do, to have body language, all these kind of things that you can read into when you understand it. And what drives it is the pursuit of validation. But the emotionals are pursuing validation from within, and physicals are pursuing validation externally. This is critical. When you understand this, you know what works and what does not, what makes them feel secure and comfortable around you and what does not, what appeals to them and what doesn't. They don't even know it. They may not even know it, but you definitely will. When you understand what drives someone's behaviors, what they're interested in, what's on a subconscious level, then you have access to who they really are. Then you can build harmonious relationships. In episode 3, putting E&P to the test, we have a lot of fun. It's with a celebrity challenge. We use celebrities, some public personalities, to evaluate whether they're emotional or physical based on how they look, what we say about them in the public. Co-host and producer Chloe joined me on this session, and basically I didn't tell her in advance, and I gave her public personalities, and I said, tell me which one they are, physical or emotionals. Then she would try to determine with what she knew from the first episode whether they were physical or emotional, and then she'd be able to tell me what and why she thought that, and then I could correct that or elaborate that or confirm that. This way we learn in real time on hands-on experience what people are and how they are, so we can see and understand how to do this ourselves. This isn't just the public personalities. And by the way, we chose Johnny Depp, Robert Downey Jr., 2 very different actors from each other, and then went off the grid somewhat, away from the Hollywood thing, and went to Albert Einstein, a couple of authors, Hemingway and artist Van Gogh, Gandhi. These were very surprising what these actually are. We think we know right away what they're going to be once you start to learn the E&P. And this teaches you how to look for the subtle layers and levels that can be deceiving at first. And once you understand them, the assessment to be able to categorize somebody as emotional or physical, it becomes almost instant. What that means is that when you meet someone, when you understand the system and this process, when you meet them, you don't have to ask them whether they're A-I-N-G, whatever, with the Myers-Briggs thing. You have to ask them and find that out. You can simply look at them and know how to treat them. Know what it is that they seek, know what makes them feel secure and motivated, and what motivates their behaviors. When you know this, again, you can give them what they want, which automatically, subconsciously makes them give you what you want. This is why it's called how to persuade and influence people. And I point out that that's kind of a four-letter word, influencing. It's become a very superficial term for people that are into fashion, all that, and that's about it. But if we can persuade, influence people to self-improvement, to great things, to inspire them, to motivate them, to be better and be better with us, and we can be better, then that's the whole point of this. This is not simply selling people used cars and products. It's not about sales. It does work for marketing as well. But this is about building and establishing harmonious relationships with E&P and suggestibility by understanding it. That's what this is for. It literally to build harmonious and well-balanced relationship with anybody that you meet. In my private practice, I did a lot of marriage counseling, and people would come to me. By the time they would come to me, their marriage is in a wreck. I mean, it's completely destroyed. They're basically filing for divorce. By the time they usually reach out for help, that's what many people are doing. They're pretty much thrown in the towel. And using E&P, I can't tell how many relationships I salvaged and saved, because it wasn't about irreconcilable differences. It was about misunderstandings. And one of the things I quote very heavily throughout this series is, it is not enough to be understood. It is far more important to not be misunderstood. All the conflicts between people, couples, kids, family, politics, the world is mostly because of being misunderstood. If we can understand each other, then we have smooth communication. We can work things out. We can reconcile our issues and our differences. In this episode 2, Relational Strategies, we learn how to identify the emotionals and the physicals and what drives and motivates them, and how to synchronize them together and make them harmonious. It's a beautiful and powerful episode. Then I teach you how to do this with casual people, you know. Now, I don't know them, obviously, so you're watching this, and I asked producer Chloe to just pick some random people in her life, acquaintances, friends, whatever, people that she knows. I teach her how in real time, hands-on experiences with how to evaluate them as physical or emotionals properly and accurately. And again, this is the best way to do it, is hands-on experience, hands-on trial and error. That's how you learn to do this. Then we have episode 4. This is suggestibility. This one I can't wait till the end, because I like to save the best for last. And I would say the best. I'd say that it's something you can apply so quickly and easily and see major differences right away by using it. Both E&P does this as well, but suggestibility is about communication. The title of that episode, literally, episode 4, Suggestibility, the dynamics of literal and inferential communication. We all speak in one or the other dominantly, but we have shades of both. Literal communication, well, that's pretty much how it sounds, literal. We say exactly what we mean, and it's very precise. Inferential, we're saying one thing, we kind of mean another. It's implied. So we all speak in both of these, but many people speak almost exclusively in one or the other. And to make things even trickier, here's the real challenge. Here's the rub, is that many people who speak literally hear inferentially. And when people hear literally, they speak inferentially. So many misunderstandings, almost all of them, are because people don't realize they're speaking a virtually different language from each other, literal and inferential. When you can't understand somebody and they're frustrated with you, and vice versa, when somebody can't understand you and you're being very clear, it's not because you're necessarily doing a bad job of communicating, or they're doing a bad job of listening and understanding, or that they're stupid. It isn't. It is because they have the opposite type of communication style than you do. They may be literal and inferential, or you may be literal and inferential. They don't match up. Inferential is just what it sounds like. People may say one thing, but they kind of mean another. That means it doesn't mean opposite. They mean it's inferences, it's suggestion, it's a roundabout kind of thing, some approximation. This can cause a lot of tension and irritation between people that's easily resolved when you understand how this communication works. It breaks it all down and teaches you in real time, in real practice, how to apply suggestibility, how to use it properly, and how what you will watch and see how your communication with people just smooths out. It's a miracle. It's a miracle worker. The difference in communication style, what this explains in this episode 4, suggestibility, dynamics of literal and inferential communication. It again teaches you and breaks it all down, and it teaches you the contrast, what drives it, what motivates it. So instead of getting upset by how someone's different from us and we can't understand what they're saying, we learn to appreciate the contrast. So rather than be irritated by the differences, we begin to appreciate the contrast and difference between us. This is where the harmonious part of the relationship comes in. Imagine if you could meet someone and within moments know what drives them psychologically, emotionally, mentally, subconsciously, not just consciously, what drives them, what they're seeking. What kind of validation do they seek that they don't even know that themselves on a conscious level? And if you give this to them at no cost to yourself, if it was easy to do, simple and easy, and then they would turn around and do the same for you. And they wouldn't even know why. They would subconsciously be responding because what drives us all is we all want pleasure and fulfillment. Those are two different things. Fulfillment is an inner sense of accomplishment and achievement and satisfaction. It requires work and sacrifice and effort to be involved with something that's more meaningful. Pleasure is simple. It's real sensory. It's just what's on the surface. And again, emotionals, they need that inner fulfillment. And physicals, they need that external fulfillment. They both need it, though. They get the validation, the pursuit of that. When we understand how to give that to somebody, and again, watch how it transforms. So wrap it all up with that suggestibility episode. Now you've got 4 episodes that break down E&P, emotional and physical personalities, how they work, how they become what they are, emotionals or physicals, how they communicate, how they gesture, what motivates them, what drives them, how they act, how to identify them, how to categorize them, and how to build harmonious relationship with them. Episode 3 is the celebrity challenge, where we use real people to test your skills and what you've learned in the first ones on how to evaluate people and categorize them as emotional or physicals and how to interact with them in a powerful way. Everyone you meet, friends, lovers, acquaintances, and what this does, it builds longevity in your relationships. It doesn't just help you get along. It means you can sustain it for a long time to come. Longevity. So many relationships that start out great and start out strong with a lot of fire in them, a lot of heat, a lot of passion. They end up fizzling out because we don't know how to sustain this. E&P and suggestibility teach you how to sustain this and have longevity in your relationships. Keep them going for the long time, for the long term. And then, of course, we wrap that up with suggestibility, teaching you how to communicate. Don't forget, through these episodes, I'm going to give you the website link where you can go to the website, scottspackey.com/pry-open, and right on the blog page, one of the first ones is E&P Suggestibility Questionnaires. You click on that one, open it up, fill out your email, and you'll get the forms, get the questionnaires for free, okay? And I highly encourage this. They're a lot of fun. They're revealing. This will absolutely change your mind and change your life. It has that potential. Don't underestimate this. I think you get a lot out of it. Enjoy all episodes. And if you need any help, understanding even deeper layers, you want to expand this even more. Again, I can't tell how many marriages I've saved, how many families, parent and child relationships, adult children. It's just across the board. Neighbors, acquaintances, it just works with everyone so much smoother. And if you need some more help with this, I'm at your service. Contact me, ask questions, email me. I'm not some man that lives on a hill, living in an ivory tower somewhere that doesn't respond. I answer my emails, I answer my phone calls, I work with people, I have private sessions. You can join the group, you can join this podcast and come on and discuss things. It's a lot of fun, and it's a way to use humor, knowledge, and wisdom to expand your horizon and pry open your third eye and break away ignorance in all kinds of different areas. So enjoy the E&P series, How to Persuade and Influence People, and enjoy the download forms, enjoy all the topics that are discussed, and be able to learn and use it and put it into your life in real time.
Until next time, leave your third eye open. Full episodes, services, knowledge, and all you'll ever need on scottspackey.com and life-mind.com.